This is the beginning stage of grief. This is the middle. This is the end. When Drake lost, waved the white flag on Heart Part 6, you can be in denial. It's fine. Maybe you think, oh, Drake is going to drop again, or Not Like Us is not that good. No one's listening to this outside, really. Like, it's all bots. And then it turns to anger. For some reason, Akademiks is stuck right here. He's not in denial that Drake lost anymore, but he's just angry at Kendrick. And he's angry about the whole thing. After 6 months over a rap beef, you should not still be here. You should be like on your way to acceptance. Yo, the Kendrick and Drake beef has been over. Why is Akademiks still going hard on Kendrick? Let's see what he got to say now.
SZA is the person who interviewed him.
Yeah, and I did a reaction to this on my channel, this interview with Harper's Bazaar. I really didn't like this interview with Kendrick and SZA, and I didn't like the fact that SZA was interviewing him. I didn't like the fact that it was on Harper's Bazaar, and I didn't like the questions. I know a lot of people hate me for that, but I mean, I just don't like everything Kendrick does. I know some people that's blasphemy. When I talked about this interview, I low-key feel like Adam 22 went on No Jumper and like stole some of my flow a little bit. Like
Kendrick Lamar going and doing an interview with Harper's Bazaar, supporting black media outlets, hip-hop media outlets.
Because it's in Harper's Bazaar, which is not hip-hop adjacent in any way.
You let your label mate basically interview you.
The interviewer is SZA. It's going to be a softball interview, which it was.
Reading that article, I was left with the feeling this may all backfire on Kendrick at some point.
But I think when Kendrick says stuff like this is fine. All this extra stuff, like the extra flowery language, I don't think it helps Kendrick. Like, I think it aids more so what Akademiks is saying.
Because he has built himself up now to be such an elitist character in the space. I think at a certain point, people are going to realize like, oh, like we really trusted this guy and that it's just not really panning out.
Like, cause then Akademiks can use this and be like, well, nigga, you're supposed to be moral, values, beliefs, not pandering, apologizing for mistakes, fear-based ideologies. You're supposed to, now Akademiks can use this and then re-pedestalize Kendrick to knock him off of it. Well, nigga, you do pander. I bet he's gonna mention the Grammys. You do pander. You pander for the Grammys every single year. What about your morals? What about the shit you said you did on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? Like all the cheating on your wife and all this and fucking white girls and then what about your values? Is that aligned with your value? Like, I'm sure Kendrick doesn't care about this, but I'm saying like this helps Ak and everyone else who wants to pedestalize Kendrick just to knock him down.
To me, that interview had so little substance to it.
Yeah, I basically learned nothing in this interview.
It was the ultimate situation where he's like shielding himself from any kind of tough questions.
This is why I would just rather a proper hip hop media or a journalist be in that seat, because they're not going to be afraid to ask Kendrick questions. And they're not going to be afraid of what Kendrick's reaction might be. They're trained to ask the question.
And instead, he sits across from SZA, who lets him get away with like, the song was about how I, as a man, am just in such a great space as a man or whatever. It's like, you call him a pedophile and it seems like it's all a lie.
Experiences, energy, childhood, chakras, ayahuasca, therapy, it's giving. Like, is that what Not Like Us is about? Is that what that song is about? I thought it was about calling Drake a PDF file. I feel like he was still in my flow a little bit. Like, what?
Is Harper Bazaar like a black publication?
No. Harper's Bazaar is like a European women's fashion magazine.
Harper Bazaar in the United States, a national magazine company owns in the United Kingdom. Yeah, I like this. I like this, Kendrick. This is a good move.
So this is the angle that Akademiks is taking, right? That's why he says it's not a black publication, it's not hip hop. This is Akademiks' angle. And like I said in my other video, the way that people criticize Kendrick, the angle they take to attack him, since there are very few routes to take because his music is so flawless, they'll put him up on a pedestal, they'll pedestalize him, put him on a pedestal that he never would put himself on, and then they'll attempt to knock him off that pedestal. So it's kind of like a false attack, because like you put him on a pedestal where he never even put himself, but then you're trying to knock him off the pedestal after you put him on. So this is kind of what he's doing here.
Kendrick in 10 years is going to be seen as the nigga who finessed the entire culture in front of their face that they never figured out till it was too late.
There's no way Akademiks is still this angry over the Kendrick-Drake beef. There's no way.
Talks black power, community building, going against colonizers and spreading to people exploiting the culture. Yet he runs to the Met Gala, thirsting for Grammys, and he's doing everything to collect all the white accolades and white accomplishments and the white pat on the backs that he possibly could.
There's a piece of that I do agree with. I do agree with the whole Met Gala thing. Now, I'm not sure if Kendrick is actually gone to the Met Gala. I don't pay attention to the Met Gala. It's not important to me. But for instance, there's a politician named AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and her whole shtick is that she's for the working people. We're going to tax the rich. We're going to give it back to the working people who built this country. And I can kind of see the parallel that Akademiks is drawing here, because the way I guess he feels about Kendrick is how I felt about AOC. I was a supporter of AOC, and then I saw her go to the Met Gala. The Met Gala is basically a gathering. It's a fundraiser. It's a gathering of rich people. It's like a ball, and they all go in their designer outfits, and it's just like a circle jerk, basically. So I can see the parallel Akademiks is trying to draw with Kendrick, because I felt the same or similar about AOC. Your brand, AOC, as a politician cannot be tax the rich, as you can read on her dress, pro-poor people, pro-working people, but then you jump at the opportunity to go to the Met Gala once they invite you. The Met Gala is like the complete opposite of the working people. This is like a bourgeoisie, wealthy upper income type event. And sure, if you want to go there, that's fine. If anyone wants to go there, I don't care. But when your brand is like, I'm pro working people, I'm pro average Joe, and then you show up to the Met Gala, it's a conflict. So I can understand what Akademiks is trying to say here, but I don't think Kendrick's brand is what AOC's brand was. So that's why it doesn't hit the same as me, but I understand what he's saying. Like, I totally get the critique.
Doesn't seem like the guy who cares too much about culture. But I like it, because you gotta play in the face of bitch-ass niggas. I like how Kendrick plays in our face. He goes to a white platform, like he does. By the way, BT gives him 8 awards. Not even a throw up on the story. Oh, good looks, y'all niggas. Good look, black entertainment television. Wait till you see the Grammys. Who want to take a bet with me that Kendrick will have some type of reaction or presence at the Grammys? Who want to bet?
Guys disagree with this? I agree with what Akademiks is saying here. Yes. I don't pay attention to any of these award shows. I thought we stopped caring about this a long time ago, but I guess we're not a hive mind, right? We don't all think the same. But yeah, Kendrick, I don't know. I don't follow really Kendrick on social media either. I just pay attention to when he drops music. She said nothing about the BET Awards and these other awards that he gets. It seems like the awards that Kendrick cares about is the Grammys. I mean, which is fine. But again, if you're trying to critique him and he's supposed to be like this cultural, I'm just trying to give you guys Akademiks' viewpoint. I'm not saying I agree. If he's supposed to be the cultural man of the culture and all this culture shit, I'm tired of that word. But anyways, if he's supposed to be that, then why are you going up for the Grammys, but you don't show up to the BET Hip Hop Awards, the VMAs, MTV, but you're going up for the Grammys, which has historically been questionable in terms of the culture?
Anybody? Does anybody want to bet? Classic Kendrick. Talk about making songs like "We Gonna Be All Right," and every time his supporters,
yo, they really hold Kendrick to that song. Kendrick has like 3 songs, maybe 4, about uplifting black people, and that's it. The intro to one of his albums is literally "fuck your ethnicity." Like, it's like, but they try to pigeonhole him. That's what I'm saying with the AOC thing. I get the parallel he's trying to draw, but Akademiks is putting Kendrick on these pedestals. Like, you're the man of the culture. You're the "we gonna be all right" black activist. Like, Kendrick has never proclaimed to be that. Akademiks is putting him there. AOC, though, she put herself on that pedestal. Like, I'm pro low income working people. So yeah, when she does something like this, it's outrageous. Like, Akademiks is putting Kendrick on these pedestals, not the other way around.
think they about to get a look after they have hyped him up to this kingdom. He looks at his own supporters and says, "Bitch, be humble. Sit your fucking ass down. I'm going to the white publication. My nigga Kung Fu Kenny. I like that." Anyway, here we go. So Kendrick talks to SZA about his record-breaking diss track for Harper Bazaar, November 2024 cover story, okay? And apparently, he changed the game when he dropped Not Like Us. I agree. Diss track that was released this past May in his ongoing feud with Drake. The song debuted at number 1 in the Billboard Hot 100, breaking the streaming records on Spotify, and went on to earn recognition at the MTV Video Music Award and BET Hip Hop Awards. But this is too black for him. Now in an interview...
See, you guys can see this is a disgusting angle, and it's like not effective. I think anyone watching this can see through it. But I understand the angle he's trying to take, at least. My issue is not that Kendrick did his first interview after Not Like Us with a non-black publication. I would just rather Kendrick do it with a hip-hop publication, with a proper host or interviewer who does this for a living, who's a journalist, who are not afraid to ask tough questions. See, it's not a black and white thing. Oh, you did it with Harper Bazaar. They're a white corporation. No, it's like, I would rather you have done it with the hip hop. I don't care if they're white or black. Is it a hip hop? You could have did the shit with Bootleg Cav or Tim Westwood. I would just rather see it in a hip hop venue, but there will be more interviews to come. You know what I mean?
You with SZA. Ooh, okay, SZA. Okay. Harper Bazaar 2024 November cover story. The rapper opens up about what the track truly means to him. This is what SZA asks Kendrick. Can I ask you a hyper masculine question? SZA asks Kendrick Lamar. She then says, "You can tell me to shut the fuck up."
Why he making SZA sound like a
What
doof?
does not like us mean to you? Kendrick answers. He says, "Not like us."
What? That's not how he sounds.
Fake woke voice.
Fake woke voice is crazy.
Not like us. Not like us is the energy of who I am, the type of man I represent. Now, if you identify with the man I represent, this man has morals. He has values.
See, in this part of the interview, and you guys already know how I feel about this interview. I feel like it was a softball interview. We didn't learn anything from this interview. And I know some people are like, they'll say, well, you're just expecting drama. I'm not expecting drama. It was a pointless interview. It was. And it's his first interview after the rat beef, after the Not Like Us #1 record. All eyes were on him. So it's not like I'm looking for drama. I'm looking for anything. You want to talk about music, new music? You want to talk about your old music? Let's learn something. You want to roll out something? Maybe you could tell us about something going on with PG Lang. How do you even feel about the Super Bowl performance that you're slated to do? We didn't learn shit from this interview. Facts. That's why I have a problem with it.
He believes in something. He stands on something. He is not pandering. He's a man who recognizes his own mistakes and not afraid to share.
I can't
mistakes.
with these voices, man.
Can dig deep down into fear-based ideologies or experience to be able to express them without feeling like he's less of a man. If I'm thinking not like us, I'm thinking of me and whoever identifies with that.
Yeah, I can't with these voices. But I think when Kendrick says stuff like this is fine. And obviously we already know Not Like Us is a diss track about Drake. What does it mean? It's a diss track. Drake is not like us. All this extra stuff, like the extra flowery language, I don't think it helps Kendrick. Like, I think it aids more so what Akademiks is saying. Like, because then Akademiks can use this and be like, well, nigga, you're supposed to be moral, values, beliefs, not pandering, apologizing for mistakes, fear-based ideologies. You're supposed to, like, now Akademiks can use this and then re-pedestalize Kendrick to knock him off of it. Well, nigga, you do pander. I bet he's going to mention the Grammys. You do pander. You pander for the Grammys every single year. What about your morals? What about the shit you said you did on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? Like all the cheating on your wife and all this and fucking white girls. And then what about your values? Does that align with your value? Like, I'm sure Kendrick doesn't care about this, but I'm saying like this helps Ak and everyone else who wants to pedestalize Kendrick just to knock him down. Because it's like, you ain't need to say this. You could just been like, yo, Drake is a hoe. Drake is a hoe. That's what the song is about. I'm like, oh yeah. See, this answer was Kendrick trying to speak about Not Like Us without mentioning Drake. And that's why it just comes across as just word salad.
Is this nigga serious yet? Bruv, this bruv just trying to make this shit like some high, like this spiritual morality. Like, what the nigga? This just a diss song to Drake. Y'all hate when rappers trying to make shit.
Thank you.
Not Like Us is a diss song to a nigga he thought was a bitch. Drake. That's it. That's how the song. Like, I don't know why this nigga's trying to do this extra fake deep shit. Like, oh nah, it's about morals. And brother, Kendrick don't got no goddamn morals. Kendrick went on a song and said,
so now Akademiks is about to do what I literally just described. He's going to use what Kendrick says here and challenge it and knock him off the pedestal. Like Kendrick saying stuff like this, he doesn't normally say stuff like this, not even in his music. Like the moral, I see this as like moral upstanding, virtue signaling a little bit. He doesn't usually do this. I don't know why he does it here. But this is an easy attack vector, which again, Kendrick does not care about what Akademiks has, or maybe he does. He mentioned Akademiks in the song, so obviously he was listening. In 616 in LA, but saying shit like this, especially when it's not necessary, like this is not what fucking Not Like Us is about. What Akademiks is about to do, he's about to pick apart everything he said. Morals, well, what about this? Values, what about this? Pandering, what about this? Akademiks doesn't even need to pedestalize Kendrick to knock him off of it. Kendrick has low-key already pedestalized himself here. And that's why it's such an easy attack vector.
Said a nigga should die because he's a pedophile, and then says he said that Drake's son don't deserve to have a father alive. Then he went on and made this Not Like Us saying this guy is a pedophile. He just straight up lied. He's straight up lied. You don't got no goddamn morals, bro. He just wanted to win a rap beef, and kudos on making a really good song. But the audacity, the unmitigated gall of someone who would get on a goddamn interview and just rather than just describing what the song is.
Right. That's again, I gotta agree with that.
It's Not Like Us is the energy of who I am, the man I represent. Nigga, no, it ain't. It's a diss song to a nigga you don't fuck with.
Yo, I agree with this, man. I do agree with it. I know. Put it in the chat. Disagree with me or agree with me, but I do agree with this part.
Just keep it on being. Why these niggas trying to be so deep? Pause. No Diddy. Facts. This man has morals. He has values. Like, what is he talking about?
Oh, man.
I would have respected this if he just said more like, yo, Not Like Us is a song about a bitch-ass nigga who ain't like us. I would have respected that. Be like, all right, man. That's funny. I can get down with that, bro. I can get down with that. Bro, why is this nigga trying to be so fake fucking deep? The man you represent? What the fuck are you talking about? The man has morals, values, and believes in something? What the fuck did Kendrick show us he believes in? And stand on something. What did he stand on?
So I don't believe with this part. I do think Kendrick clearly puts his morals and his what he stands on in his music. It's right there in his music.
Yo, Kendrick is doing an amazing job of trying to rewrite the history of the beef with Drake. Here's how the real history.
He doesn't need to rewrite the history.
Kendrick was salty that he was this Puritan type rapper, and Drake was this rapper that was trying to attract pop audiences and R&B audiences and a lot of women, and may have gotten help with this and third. And he was jealous of the fact that this guy was number one. He felt that talent for talent, he felt he was better, but he didn't want to do the work to get to number one. Instead, he slick hated all along his career, even though this nigga put him on his first motherfucking tour.
Well, technically, Kendrick did do the work to get number one. In hip hop, if you want to be number one, and there's a guy at number one. It's like the medieval times. You take your sword out and you duel. And he dueled and he won. And that's why he's number one. So he did do the work. I mean.
Let's just be honest. Nigga put him on his first tour, gave him a feature, put his song on his goddamn album, and he slick hated the whole time. And then when he got called out on the first time he slick hated in 2014 with The Control, he said, nah, that's not what, nah, I ain't got no smoke like that. Then the whole time afterwards, the Black and the Berry, all that bullshit, nigga talking about, yo, y'all niggas sharing bars like people
in a two-man cell, yeah. The Control thing, it wasn't really a Drake diss. Like Kendrick mentioned so many people on Control. It was Drake who took it personally.
Where is Drake at with Control?
I'm probably like as done as like the rest of the world is with that record. Like I think it came and it went. It was like one of those sort of like fleeting like Twitter frenzies.
Drake made it weird. Drake took that super personally. Everybody else who was mentioned, Mac Miller, Big Crit, Meek Mill, they either just took it as, yo, thanks for the shout out, or they responded in their own tame diss track. Like, it was Drake who made that shit weird.
You know, I'm not really like into doing like a record with him now.
So you and Kendrick, you will sleep tonight. Not together.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
I sleep good every night.
That's
yeah.
what I say. I'll sleep tonight.
Sure, bunk beds. He kept slick dissing. The other nigga was never really giving a fuck. Like, bro, why you? If you're number one, in the history of time, have we seen number one say, man, fuck the fact that I'm number one. Let me hate on number two. This nigga was a guy
pretending like Drake was not sneak dissing during that time is what Akademiks is accusing Kendrick of. It's trying to rewrite the history. Nigga, Drake was sneak dissing too. They were all sneak dissing each other, bro. Like,
that was number two, felt he had the talent for number one, didn't want to work for it, and just hate on number one the entire time. And to the point where I know we're now like reimagining why the beef kicked off. The beef kicked off because nobody even listened to First Person Shooter and said, oh, Kendrick's gonna be mad. Nobody. The nigga just came out of the blue saying, fuck the big three.
Yeah, when I first heard First Person Shooter, I also didn't listen to that song too deeply. The reaction is on my channel. I just thought the song was horrible. I thought it was a horrible song, and I still feel that way. But I didn't hear it, to Akademiks' point, I didn't hear any Kendrick disses on that. It wasn't until people pointed it out. Very vanilla disses, and the song was just horrible, in my opinion.
Then the next song we hear from the nigga, he says, literally, I'm the biggest hater. So this is like, I still can't understand what people even try to, this is nothing about standing on morals, principles. You know the morals and principles Kendrick could be standing on if you really try to break down how we got to Not Like Us. The morals and principle of thinking you're owed something you didn't work for, the morals and principles of snaking somebody who actually helped you out early in your career, the morals and principle of actually doing the same things or being envious of the position that someone's in, even though you're not down to do what they did to get there. That's not something that I believe is.
Well, I don't think Drake is that far ahead of Kendrick. Sure, Drake has more #1 hits, but there's always been 1 and 2 since like 2011. It's been Drake and Kendrick. Where who you had 1 and who you had 2 is depending on your personal preference. But it wasn't like Drake was so far away from everybody.
Filled and is the epitome of morals and principles to me. I don't think there's morals in that. I don't think there's no value in that. I don't think that's standing on something when really it's rooted in jealousy. And also, if we're talking about pandering, you of course motherfucking pandered. You dropped the song with the fucking shoelace and little dusty sneakers, and you literally said you said that what you wanted to watch die was the type of music that every nigga that stood on that stage with you at the pop out.
No, I do agree with that.
Facts.
I do agree with that.
Did gangster music that's aggressive, music promoting drugs and violence on the community. You made a song after the pop out saying you want to see that shit die, but you featured all them niggas on the pop out. But
yeah.
you did that because you.
So sometimes, like, even if you dislike what the person's saying, but they make a point, you gotta make a point. Like I said with music, I'm not gonna listen to a song that's bumping and pretend like it's not bumping, even if I don't like the artist. If it's bumping, it's bumping. So I do gotta agree. Like, yeah, Watch the Party Die. There is a section of that song where the whole song is really about Kendrick killing off these bad parts of hip hop culture, black culture. And one of those parts were these drill rappers, gangster rappers. That was a part of it. But when you look at DJ Head's set at the Pop Out show, it's all these gangster rappers rapping the gangster songs. So there is some hypocrisy in there. I hear that. You know what I mean?
You know you needed a look. But afterwards, when you don't need a look, you're talking about the type of music they made. Is that standing on some shit?
I just don't agree with how he's framing it. I agree with that one-off example, but I don't agree with, in the context in which he's framing it. But like I said, when Kendrick says stuff like this, like he said in the interview, which didn't need to be said about Not Like Us, he's putting himself on this type of pedestal instead of having the haters do it for him, which they always have to do because there's really no way to attack him. He put himself on a pedestal here. And then, yeah, Akademiks is literally doing exactly what I said. He's looking at, okay, where's your morals then? You did this. Your values, you did that. Your stand on something, you did that. I bet when he gets to pandering, he's going to mention the Grammys.
And I think in his personal life, you listen to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I definitely believe that, he's definitely introspective. You could probably see where that actually comes in. His own mistakes and not afraid to share mistakes and dig deep down. I think that's accurate. But if we look at him in music outside of that, I think Kendrick is just a very jealous guy. Truthfully. Bro, you literally, how could you call J. Cole your man when you allowed the noise and backlash that came from your song or your verse like that to force a guy who you claim you had love for to almost make a song dissing you, a guy who stood up.
Force? Well, Kendrick didn't force J. Cole to do anything. J. Cole is his own man. Again, the framing is just off, right?
To Puff basically caught the beats because of you. You forced him to make a song just trying to respond to you or at least trying to show he wasn't pussy by even competing. Just to only then basically try to blame the whole thing on Drake when you're the one who literally took this nigga, put him in a position where he had to diss you. The nigga is so even just...
Put him in a position where he had to diss you? Okay, so now he's going completely off the rails here. I could understand some of the stuff he was saying, but now he's completely off the railroad tracks here.
Call a bitch man, but goddamn it. He dissed you, then apologized, and even then, didn't even acknowledge his apology. I just don't know how Kendrick is embodying everything he's saying. Kendrick is saying some really good, wholesome shit. But I'm looking at his actions, and his actions just tell me otherwise.
So now Akademiks is about to read the whole interview. Really, there's no reason to read this Harper's Bazaar interview with Kendrick and SZA. It's like a completely pointless interview. So I think he may actually stop midway through because I knew I wanted to.
Oh, yeah, he getting emotional. That's Absol. It's Q, ain't it? I think J-Rock back here. This was 8/19/11. When did Good Kid, Mad City? When didn't that drop? 2012? Unless I'm tripping. It dropped 2012. I know Section 80 was out. Why did people just say, like, why did they already pass the throne or like the torch to him?
Because he was that good. Kendrick Lamar EP, Kendrick Lamar Overly Dedicated, Section 80. He was that good. Go re-listen to the albums. See, you see, Akademiks' mind, he can't wrap his head around why the city would rally around Kendrick. Like, you don't even have an album out. Like, you didn't go platinum. Why are people like his mind is like thinking sales. Like, his first album was Good Kid, Mad City in 2012. Why are people rallying around him? He didn't even go platinum yet. He didn't have a Grammy. It doesn't matter. His music was great. That's why people rallied around him. I know, I was there. That's why people rallied around him. It has nothing to do with, I know to someone who just thinks sales all the time. Sales, 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 sales. Sales says all. Numbers tell all. Numbers don't tell all. Numbers don't lie. They don't tell the truth either. Numbers can be interpreted to mean whatever you want it to mean. You can interpret numbers to mean various different things. We can both look at one number. The number's not lying or telling the truth. The number is just the number. We can both look at that number and come up to our own interpretations about it, right? He's puzzled. Like, why would people rally behind a rapper like this when he's not even platinum? They're treating him like he's platinum. Yeah, he didn't say this, but I would assume this is what he's thinking. It's because his music was good, great. He was making great music way back then. Yeah, I know. If you don't think that way, it's confusing. Like, they don't have any numbers to even support why they're rallying behind him.
I know Section 80 was out. Why did people just say, like, why did they already pass the throne or like the torch to him? I know the game had cooled off.
Yo, he's really confused about it. He really doesn't get it. Like, it couldn't just be that his music was very good and everyone loved his music. He's really confused. Like, why? Like, like, whoa.
I'm pretty sure it was a good reason. I just don't. I'm trying to remember the sequence of events. Yeah, I'd be crying too. I ain't gonna lie.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, acknowledgement by your peers, it'll definitely do it to you.
Ain't no motherfucking hating Dr. Dre blood. He passed it to Snoop. Snoop passed it to Kane.
Oh, by the way, this was around the time when I think Dr. Dre was heavily jacking Kendrick too. Not that he's not no more, right? But like he was almost like he was the Dr. Dre protege at that point, right?
Yeah, well, Dr. Dre had many proteges before him. Not many, but Dr. Dre had proteges before Kendrick. Kendrick was just already super popular. Even without Dr. Dre, he was already super popular. So this is why everyone is rallying behind him. The fans, the people had already rallied behind him. And now here come the artists. They didn't have to do this, but here they come.
Pop resting in peace, so it's easy. Motherfucker J-Rock don't swing glasses. I hate when niggas say that the West Coast ain't popping. Nigga, we the West, nigga.
All right, so I think that's enough of that commentary so far. In terms of the actual interview with Kendrick, SZA, and Harper's Bazaar, I would agree more so with Akademiks and Adam 22. I know some people are out there like, how can you disagree with them and then agree with them on something? I know it's crazy, right? It's crazy how that works. I know that's not going to be the only interview that Kendrick has lined up to do. But yeah, it's like, you know, Ak kind of still spinning narratives where narrative doesn't need to be spun. I think we just need to end the video like this. People, this is the beginning stage of grief. This is the middle. This is the end. When Drake lost, waved the white flag on Heart Part 6. Yeah, it's denial. Not Like Us had just came out. The first week it's out, everyone's playing it. You can be in denial. It's fine. Maybe you think, oh, Drake is going to drop again. Or Not Like Us is not that good. Or what were people saying? No one's listening to this outside, really. Like, it's all bots. And then it turns to anger. For some reason, Akademiks is stuck right here. This is the beginning stage, bro. This is one stage removed from denial. He's not in denial that Drake lost anymore, but he's just angry at Kendrick, and he's angry about the whole thing. After 6 months over a rap beef, you should not still be here. You should be like, on your way to acceptance. You're prolonging this whole stage. You're prolonging it, man. Get on to bargaining, and then sadness, and then you get to acceptance. Me, I've already accepted stuff. I'm at the point where I can give Drake props and be like, yo, Drake, he tried. He tried hard. He had some great bars. He had some good songs, but he failed. I'm at the point where I can give Drake props for what he done, though. I don't know why Ak is still stuck right here all these months later. I said in the video before, it's affecting his reputation as a fair commenter. But with the whole Mother Eye Sober stuff he just did right there, it's just making him look completely shameful. It's making it look like he has absolutely no filter, which I guess maybe he prides himself on. Like, yeah, I have no filter, but there's just some things that's just too far for the situation. And that was way too far for the situation. But anyways, what did y'all think of the video? Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.